Hi, I'm Frank. This is Fandom Flavors, where amazing drinks meet awesome stories. So grab a glass, pull up a chair, and settle in for a delicious adventure. So, first official cocktail of the new Fandom Flavor channel is going to be the Daiquiri. And I chose this one because it is my favorite cocktail on the God's green planet Earth. And being from South Louisiana and all the drive-through daiquiri shops, yeah, if you didn't know that, you can here go drive up somewhere in Louisiana, pull up with your car, vroom, 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 look at that, and just like you order fries and a burger, you get a daiquiri or a grown-up slushie. Let's be honest what it is. It's just a grown-up slushie. It's not a daiquiri. Hell, I've been to a daiquiri shop, asked for a classic daiquiri, and they had no idea what I was talking about. So we're going to show you how to make the classic daiquiri today. Ratios vary from person to person. We're going to go over my personal ratios with this. So let's talk about the daiquiri itself as a cocktail. It started in 1898 in Cuba. So there's this American guy named Jennings Cox. He was an engineer at some iron mine out there, and he lived around some part of Cuba, around Daiquiri Beach, town called Daiquiri. I hadn't figured that part out, but somewhere called Daiquiri. And he was kind of a little hooty snooty guy and had little house parties and everything and invited people over. And he had this big punch that he always served is made with gin. So one day, Jennings was throwing a raver at his place, ran out of gin. So he went down to the local liquor store and he asked Francisco, hey, you got any gin? He's like, don't got gin, but I got rum. And that may not have happened, but that's kind of how I see it happen. So Francisco gave Jennings some rum and he brought it back and he made a new recipe with the rum instead of the gin. So bing, bam, boom-a-doom. He was the first one to write down the actual recipe of a daiquiri. And he called it daiquiri because that's where he lived. Now, you can't say he invented the drink because rum, lime, water, and like sweetener and sugar, that's been around since like, I don't know, the British Navy, because that's what they did. That's until the 1970s. The British Navy gave their sailors rum all the way into the 1970s from the 1700s. Man, I bet they had fun, and whoo, yeah. So, and the officers, they got gin. So they were fancy ones. But anyway, the recipe of lime and rum go back before Jennings Cox, before the daiquiri. So I'm not going to say he invented the drink of mixing lime, but he was the first one on record to write the recipe down. And back then, the recipe actually just called for rum, lime juice, and cane sugar, and some crushed ice. That's not a bad drink, but it's not a balanced drink. It's been through some evolution since then. One guy took that and put it in a blender and zinged it up in a blender, and that became really, really popular. And that's kind of where the frozen daiquiri got started with all the daiquiri shops around the world, country. And I know there's one, I am not lying, every quarter mile in South Louisiana. So anyway, from there, it elevated even more. The cocktail made its way into the U.S. in 1909 by a Navy officer by the name of Lucius Johnson. And he brought the recipe from Cuba over to the Army Navy Club in Washington, D.C. It was a hit. And it's been elevated and modified and changed a whole bunch of times since then. When I first started this, I was doing something simple as a 2-1-1 ratio, basically a rum sour. We're gonna elevate that a little bit more. And so let's go play with a drink now. So we're always gonna start something like a daiquiri. It's served up. Up means no ice. Just gonna have a little fancy little cocktail glass, a coupe glass. Little fun history about the coupe glass. It was designed and molded from apparently Marie Antoinette's breast. So yeah, so that weird. I don't know why we have a drinking vessel designed after the boob of Marie Antoinette. I don't know, but that's the story. When you're serving a cocktail up, you want to have a chilled cocktail glass. Now, you can put it in a refrigerator or a freezer and chill it that way. Mine's over there, so I can't, it's not easy to do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and fill this with some ice. And what you do is you fill your cocktail glass with some ice, throw ice on the bar, that's what you're supposed to do, and just let that chill while you build your cocktail. So we're gonna start with our small tin. You always wanna build your drink in a small tin because if you build in your tall one and you get too much, you can't, you wear a cocktail. We don't wanna do that. So always build in your small tin. We're gonna go with a 1/2 ounce of a simple syrup. This is Louisiana cane sugar, raw cane sugar. This I got this from the Alma Sugar Mill in Point Capee. We did a great tour with the Rum Society there, so I grabbed a big bag of sugar. This, in my opinion, this is the Louisiana version of Demerara syrup. Just saying. So if you're in Louisiana, go to Oxbow, grab a bag of their sugar, and this is like Louisiana Demerara sugar. So we're gonna go with a 1/2 ounce. We don't want it too sweet. So the ratios I'm gonna use is gonna be 2 ounces of rum, 3/4 ounce of lime juice, and a 1/2 ounce of our simple syrup. And that way, the rum really shines, then it brings a sour note, and then the sugar is just there to tame down the sourness and the tartness of the lime. And you'll squeeze up 3/4 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. This is a hard lime. 3/4 ounce. The original daiquiri is made with Bacardi Blanca. Then it was in Cuba. Then it moved this production into the U.S. after the whole Cuban trade embargo thing that happened. But there's a lot of rum that you can use. I'm not a huge fan of Bacardi because I find it super mild on the rum flavor, on the sugar molasses flavor. It's not a bad rum, but I think there's so much more better. And if you travel outside the country, like take a cruise to Mexico or something like that, grab a bottle of Havana Club. This is Havana Club that is still made in Cuba. You just can't buy it in the US. You can go buy it outside the US and bring it back with you. You can do that. So if you can get your hands on this is some good stuff for the daiquiri. It's along the rum daiquiri world. This is most people's go-to rum for a classic daiquiri. Now, if you can't get this, another really, really nice rum for a classic daiquiri is Probitas. Excellent, excellent rum to make a daiquiri. And what I would recommend probably before I went there, check out your local distilleries. If they make rum, more than likely have a white rum. This is Sugarfields out in Gonzales. They make their white rum on a Cuban style, I guess you'd say, where it's column stilled, it's light, but it still has flavor. There's a lot more flavor in this, I find, or let me be honest. There's a lot more flavor in every white rum produced in Louisiana than there is in Bacardi. The white Bacardi, basic Bacardi, I'll say that. There's more flavor in this than Bacardi, hands down, across any white rum that I know of produced in Louisiana. And I've had all white rums in Louisiana, but one I haven't. But I know people who have, they said it's good stuff. But anyway, back to our drink. We're gonna take our large tin, we're gonna ice this up. Put that together, cap it, good shake. Dump this. And here we're gonna double strain. What double strain means is, first you use your Hawthorne strain, that's the one with the little springies on it, and that holds back the ice. But some little small ice chips make its way through. And for a nice pretty presentation, we don't want that. So we use a fine mesh strainer over that. And there you have the amazing, best cocktail on this planet, the daiquiri. Now, with this ratio, you don't need a garnish. Because most cocktails, garnish has a purpose. It's usually there to enhance aroma, which enhances the taste. So I'm sure you know as a grown person that when you're smelling stuff, that allows you to taste it better. That's why when you were a kid and your mom was trying to shove medicine down your throat, you pinch your nose and you couldn't breathe, take the medicine so you wouldn't taste it. Well, that's what garnishes in most cases are designed to do. With this ratio having the lime a little higher than the simple syrup, this is great. So, man, I love that drink. Absolutely love that drink. You can make this with multiple different types of rums, but using a flavorful white rum is where it's at. It's where it's at. So if you're familiar with rum and you have your favorite white rum that has some flavor, Plantation White Star, that's a good one. Another great one for a daiquiri is Hamilton White Stash or Hamilton's Breezeway Blend. Those are all good ones. Banter just came out. That's American Cane Company, and Maggie Campbell and Mr. Vest, they've done some really good things with that. That's some yummy, yummy stuff too. But a white rum that has a body to it is what makes this cocktail. That's why I don't think Bacardi works with this drink. I don't. My Frank's personal opinion is Bacardi is a sweet vodka. There, I said it. So, fight me. I don't know. Anyway, this is one of my favorite cocktails. Anyway, cheers to the daiquiri. Oh man, that's so good. Until next time, keep your spirits high and your glasses full. See you later.